Hi, I'm Ms. O'Keefe, and welcome to General Chemistry. Fun fact, this is my first time teaching General Chemistry. Mrs. Lowry usually teach it, but I'm taking it over this year. And the best way to get into contact with me is via email. So that's my email address right there. We are in room 13, which is right next to the band room. The times and periods that I'm available for help will be before school at 7:30, after school until 3:30, on A days, period 2, and on B days, period 1. So this is kind of like a basic study of theoretical chemistry. So it doesn't involve a lot of math, but it does involve some math. We will be doing some practical experiments. It's a really small class. I think it's like maybe 6 or 8 of us. So we'll be able to do some experiments as well as some pretty cool demos. So a couple of things that the kids need to bring with them every day to class will be their Chromebook, a scientific calculator. Pretty much only 2 people have brought their scientific calculators with them thus far, so they will need to bring their scientific calculators with them. Whatever they use for math is fine. A notebook so that they can keep all their notes in organized, and this is an anti-pen zone, so they should be using pencils to take their notes or to do any activities that we have. So our classroom rules, of course, is to be respectful to each other and to me. Be prepared for class. That means bringing your calculator and your notes. Of course, being honest and being involved. That's not a problem. They're all pretty involved in class. Like I said, it's only like 6 or 8 of us. All of our classes are recorded, so the remote students should be aware of that. The recordings cannot be reposted anywhere, but they will be available on Google Classroom for everyone to view. So if a student misses a class period, they should always go to Google Classroom to make sure that they're prepared for the next class. For the students that are remote students, they should be visible on the video, so it can't be their Bitmoji or just a letter of their last name or they're shrouding in darkness or something like that. Casual dress attire is required. They should be sitting upright at a table or a desk, and they should actively be participating. So all of our tests are going to be open note, so not open book. So any handwritten notes that they take, any PowerPoints that I give to them or post, they should print it out if they're a remote student, or if they're a classroom student, I actually give them a PowerPoint, so they should use those for tests. The test is not open book, so they can't use their textbook. Of course, they can't use the internet. Any worksheets that we've done or activities, they can't use those on the tests. So the remote students will be taking their tests via Google Classroom, so they should always be taking it using their Chromebook. Tests are given at the end of each chapter usually, and I usually give about a week's notice for a test. So even if a student misses the day before a test or the period before a test, which is technically just kind of like a review period, so no new material is usually taught on that day, I do expect the student to come in the day of the test prepared and able to take the test on that day, unless some other arrangements are made with me, because I know how students are. Even though they have a week before the test, I know things can come up. All quizzes, once again, are going to be open note, not open book. So they can use their handwritten notes and the PowerPoints only, not the book, not the internet, and not any worksheets. Once again, if they're remote students, they're going to be taking it through Google Classroom. So they should use their Chromebooks to take it. And if they missed a period before a quiz, I'm still expecting them to take it because it would have been announced before that. Miss Labs can't be made up. Like I said, it's a small group, so we'll be able to do with social distancing, we'll all be able to do the labs at the same time. Students taking the class synchronously, I'm going to put them into a lab group also, so they'll be able to watch what the other students are doing and give feedback to the other students. They just won't be able to actively do the lab, but they'll be able to collect data and write down what the other students are writing down. Lab reports have to be submitted via Google Classroom. So if students are working together, they should do a Google Doc and submit it via Google Classroom. Homework has to be turned in via Google Classroom. So I guess you've noticed that everything is going to be submitted through Google Classroom. I do not accept late homework. So homework is late if it hasn't been turned in or if they just didn't do it. If they have a valid excused absence, then it's not considered late. But if it's an unexcused absent or they just didn't turn it in, then it's considered late. Homework may include reading and note-taking, so they may have that for homework as well. Homework's not going to be accepted if it's written illegibly or if it's not typed, if it's uploaded in the wrong direction. So if I kind of have to grade it this way, then it's not going to be graded that way. If it's not written in complete sentences, or if mathematics is involved, then all of their calculations have to be shown. Answers cannot just be written, because then that lets me know that the student doesn't understand, because they would have shown all their mathematical calculations if they did understand. So once again, that's when I'm available for help. If you know your son or daughter is having problems with a particular issue, please advise them to seek help immediately and not wait till the day before a test or the Crusader period, because I don't have them till fourth period. The Crusader period, the day of the test, I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot to help them. So you want to advise them to seek help immediately. If you notice that they're struggling, you want to reach out to me. Like I said, the quickest way is via email, and send me a quick email. Say, hey, my son's is in your fourth period foundations class, and he's having problems with X, Y, and Z. Can you approach him and say, like, hey, you need to come in for help? I'll be happy to do that, to take the lead. Like I said, most of them are pretty good at asking for help when they need help. But if you notice something in particular, please let me know. Once again, I am Miss O'Keefe, and if you have any problems or concerns, please send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer that email and communicate with you.